America's workforce. Its strength is our nation's success. Join I Build America podcast as we explore innovative solutions and inspiring stories from leaders and workers shaping America. Discover actionable insights to build a motivated workforce.
I Build America.
Hello, my name is Lorraine Lane, and I'm with I Build America podcast. Welcome. Today, I have the distinct honor of interviewing Korey B. Adams, CEO and owner of Distinction LLC. Welcome, Korey.
Lorraine, thank you so much. It's exciting to be here with you on I Build America.
Yes, it is. Korey, you have been affiliated with the Job Corps program for about 20 years. Is that right?
Well, I think you're saying it a little, you're lowering my number, Lorraine.
Oh, Lauren. Oh, wow.
It's actually closer to 30 years. Actually,
wow.
After my undergraduate education, I got to throw in the Jackson State University in there.
Some kind of way I knew that was going to happen.
You knew it was coming. So after I completed Jackson State, I went up to Massachusetts where I had family living there, and I started as a career counselor at the Shriver Job Corps Center.
Oh, man, best job in Job Corps. I would be remiss not to throw in the orange and blue.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, talk to me about it.
Yeah, so I'm a graduate also of Syracuse University. I have my master's in public administration from the distinguished Maxwell School that I take great pride in being alumni from there as well.
Congratulations. As a small business owner, you have entered into an arena that is dominated by large contractors in the Job Corps industry. Before we delve into that, I just want to talk to you a little bit. How did you get started in Job Corps?
Sure. Well, as I said, I left Mississippi as a student at Jackson State, and I moved to Massachusetts. And my undergrad degree is in psychology. And I went to my sister's house. My brother-in-law said, well, you can't live here for free. So let me take you to a place.
You gotta love family. Gotta love family.
He said, let me take you to a place that's newly built. They're looking for employees there. I went there. He took me there. I was maybe 23 years old or so. I was interviewed on the spot. I was interviewed for about 2 or 3 hours, believe it or not. My interviewer, who I won't name, but is a dear friend this day, took me on a tour of the campus, was really vetting me to make sure I was a good fit. Because like many Job Corps students, the age range is 16 to 24.
Right.
And I could easily have been considered a peer. And so after 2 or 3 years of being drilled and being introduced to that campus, I started working the next day.
Wow. Wow.
And from there, it's just been a trajectory of continued professional growth. From counselor to manager to deputy center director.
Wow.
I've been the center director of 3 different centers.
Yes.
And have tried to really influence the staff and students and build upon the mission of what the program is about in terms of empowering young people to help them go out and live successful lives.
To our viewers, one of the things that I should tell you, Korey and I have worked together in this 30-year career journey. So it is indeed, this is going to be a great interview.
Make it easy for me, please.
I am going to make it very, very easy for you. Let's talk about Distinction for a minute.
Sure.
How did you come up with that name?
How did I come up with a name? I don't think anybody really ever asked me that question.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've been around a while, you figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Right.
And you figure out also what you believe makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't say that I can take full credit for the name of the company all by myself.
Okay.
I would almost call it a small group of people that I was just having some conversation with.
Right, right.
And when you think about some of the bigger name companies, you think about Coke.
Right.
You think about Apple.
One word.
One word. And what would be the word that makes an attempt to tell the story that we want to tell about ourselves? And that would be distinction. Something that separates us, that gives us something unique and different, perhaps, from what other operators with other companies do. Distinction sounded right. It felt right. And that's what we chose to go with.
Wow, a collaboration for a company. Well, that's very interesting. So Distinction is an SBA 8A certified hub zone
Yes,
operator.
that's
Wow,
correct.
that's some great certification.
Well, sure. Well, we are, as you mentioned, we are certified by the Small Business Administration. 8A is a business development program that, in my case, federal contractors go through to become a part of the landscape for doing business with the federal government.
Okay.
Our Hub Zone certification, HUB, H-U-B, historically underutilized business zone, is designated to those companies that have offices, primary offices, that are in economic or in areas where economic activity tends to be lower than the rest of the country.
Right.
And there are some other factors involved in that too. And so what that does, it allows us to have some competitive advantage to be able to participate as a contractor with
It
the federal
sounds like
government.
you position distinction to be a distinct company, even in your bidding process.
Listen, we have been doing federal contracts now for a little over 5 years.
Wow.
Amazingly, when I quit my job, my mom and my friends, they said, "What are you doing?" In the South where I was reared, people love to say, "You have that good job."
That's right.
But there was something always a part of me that knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And at some point in time when something hits you that says now is the time, I knew it was time for me to take the chance of becoming an entrepreneur because it was now or never.
And I'm glad you listened.
I listened. And so back at the end of 2020, the year of COVID, we got the phone call. I got the phone call that says, would you like to run your very first Job Corps Center? And of course, we leaped at the idea.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, we operate the St. Louis Job Corps Center in St. Louis, Missouri. And we have a couple of caretaker contracts that are both in Kentucky and Maryland. And we're looking to be a part of this community in a more impactful way.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. You took me from got hired, 23 years of age, worked on some centers. So I have boots on the ground experience.
Yes.
You listened to what I'll call the inner man and decided.
Let me just say, the good Lord.
We listened to the good Lord, and now you're on this path as a federal contractor. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced from transitioning from being on a center as an employee to now being a CEO of a company?
Sure.
Talk to me about that transition.
Sure. Well, the story I like to tell about distinction and myself is that distinction began with the vision.
Okay.
It's not something that was inherited. And that's not to take anything away from those who inherit. I am a first generation entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I think the difference in being someone who's working on the center and actually being the owner of a company, I'll use my center director experience where you're responsible for operations and you're responsible for student outcomes.
Right.
As the owner of the enterprise, you are responsible for the entity itself, for all the risk associated with that entity, and for the sustainability, for the resilience of ensuring that that entity both survives and grows. And the weight of those two things are simply not the same.
No, they're not.
I think it's been quite the transition and quite the learning experience and quite the journey, I would say, these last number of years.
What would you say one lesson? Can you tell me one lesson that you learned?
One lesson. I would say the biggest lesson is winning the contract.
Okay. Talk to me about
as
that.
As hard as it is, that's the easy part. Operating the contract successfully, performing is where you have to have knowledge, skills, you have to have systems that ensure that you are meeting all the requirements of the contract and of the mission that you serve for a particular agency.
I could see that. In the federal arena, it requires precision, compliance, discipline. What would you say gives your small business an advantage over a large contractor?
Sure. That's a great question. And I should have anticipated that question. But here's what I say.
What would you think?
I think the answer is, for me, rather simple. And that is, as executives of the company, me and my team who help to run the company, we are still boots on the ground. We are connected in a tangible way to the day-to-day operations of our contracts. And I think for larger business, not that doesn't occur, but it may not be as prevalent as it is with small business. And I think the other thing I would add is that when you're a small business like Distinction and you're emerging and you're growing, performance is personal.
Oh, yeah.
It's personal because what happens on that contract is a reflection of me and my company.
Absolutely.
And so I would say that's perhaps the biggest difference.
That vested interest is 100+%.
Oh, absolutely.
For that. So I have, I don't want to use the word distinct, but I do have.
It's a great word.
It is a great word. Good company. I have the distinct pleasure of being a part of your team.
Yes.
And you talk about full circle in this. For my listeners, I am the center director at the St. Louis Job Corps Center, which is operated by Distinction.
Sure.
I have found, and I'll get to the question, that having a company whose entire corporate office is a byproduct of being on a center in various leadership positions brings about an understanding of the day-to-day operations of a center.
Oh, absolutely.
So if another small business was trying to get into the federal contracting arena, specifically Job Corps, and they didn't have that, how would you either mentor them or tell them,
what would be my advice?
Yeah, should you be in this business?
From a contracting level, I would tell them perhaps a couple of things.
Okay.
First, learn the PRH. Or have
What is the PRH for my listeners?
The program and the policy and requirement handbooks, which is the book of rules and policies that govern the program.
Okay.
You can't come in as an operator to manage Job Corps facilities, Job Corps contracts, and not know all the intricate details of the if-thens of what one must do in its operation. So I would say that that's very important.
Okay.
If the owner or founder of an organization does not possess that or doesn't have that experience, someone on your team has to have that knowledge and the capability, or else it's going to be particularly very difficult.
Okay.
I would say the other thing, whether it's Job Corps or any other type of federal contract, Job Corps contracts are very large value contracts. And so financial capability is a very important part, because I think anyone who knows government work knows in most instances, if not all, you work before you get paid or get reimbursed.
Right.
And so you have to be able to carry the cost of the contracts, very important.
So this is not for the faint at heart.
It's not for the faint at heart. I would add one more thing, because I think this is very important.
Go ahead.
The other thing is structure and discipline related to compliance. That there must be systems, processes that have been created, that have been tested, that one can deliver in the implementation and day-to-day activities as it relates to the management and oversight of a particular contract or operation. All those things work hand in hand. They're very important. And that would be my advice to someone.
Those are top three.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny you said compliance. A wise man once told me that compliance is foundational, not secondary.
I know who the wise man was. Because it's very true.
Yes.
And I think in the short time that we have been a federal contractor, we've learned. We've learned a lot. And compliance, documentation. Many times, even before I became a federal contractor, you would hear, and people still say that if it's not written down,
it did not happen.
It did not happen.
Yep.
And so there are lots of things, lots of components, lots of rules and regs expectations that must be completed. Because for distinction, of course, the way I approach it and what I've learned is that the requirements of the contract are foundational. But then on top of those foundational expectations, distinction is bringing its own level of expectation.
Correct.
In terms of how we want to serve the staff and students of our centers as well.
Is there anything about a center that you miss being on a center?
I miss the kids.
Okay.
I think that's the most obvious thing. Man, when I was on a Job Corps Center, which I spent a lot of time, the kids kept me young.
Okay.
They kept me hip. They kept me cool.
Yeah, they do.
I knew their lingo.
Right.
But beyond that, those things, I love to see their transformation. I love what Job Corps did for young people when expectations were high and accountability was in place from strong leaders.
Right.
And I think when you have a strong center director like Lorraine Lane, when you have a
Thank
strong management team, the culture and the expectations that you can set on a Job Corps Center and the impact that has on the lives and the personalities of those young people. Because many of them, Lorraine, are coming to our Job Corps Centers unsure, uncertain, don't have all the information. They're growing.
That's right.
And so what a center is able to do beyond equipping them with technical skills and academic skills, what a center is able to do to equip them with life skills that's going to serve them for their entire life.
That's
and not even simply the measure that we're looking at.
That's
in
quite
Job
a feat
Corps.
that Job Corps does.
Yeah. Job Corps works.
Absolutely. So, which I think you're looking at my note cards, Korey Adams.
Let me see them.
Yeah. So what does sustainability growth look like for a small business in workforce development?
Sure.
How do you sustain that?
Sure. Everybody wants to grow. You know, we are ambitious. I'm ambitious. We want to grow in our capacity. We want to grow in our revenue. But I think sustainability is strongly connected to disciplined execution. You got to execute. You can't build on shaky foundations.
Right.
You can't build when there's uncertainty. So making sure that things work and they work well, making sure that you have the right people and the right resources in place, those are the things that contribute to sustainability and growth, I think, for any type of entity, similar to small business or Job Corps centers.
Excellent. So when you go on your center, or even in the past.
I like going on my centers.
I know
by the
you
way.
do. I don't necessarily. No, I'm just kidding. So when you come to the center, or when you were working on a center, what is one of the best pieces of advice that a student gave you?
Best piece of advice that a student gave me. Mr. Adams, when you guys demonstrate that you care, that's what makes the difference. It wasn't about the food. It wasn't about, furniture or equipment. It was something more intangible, and it was connected to a human apparatus. And I don't even remember if the kid used the word care, but I know that's what I heard
And what
from
you
that
felt.
student, and what I felt.
Right.
It's like young people require safe environments that are created by people who care. Not just the center director,
Right.
but it's the counselor. It's the career technical training instructor. It's the residential advisor. For God knows, it's the cook.
That's right.
It's the maintenance helper. It's the maintenance technician who's fixing something on center who connects to that particular student. And when students feel that, when you walk onto a center, it's apparent when that is present. And students, they stick around
Yes.
for those reasons. That's when they achieve great feats. That's when they get their high school diploma and they give the certificate to the person who said, you can do it.
That's right.
Stick with it. Hold on. Those are the things that makes the difference on Job Corps campuses.
You remind me of our discussion right now reminds me of a former colleague of ours, the late Charles Singletary.
Mr. Singletary.
Yeah, that used to say, students don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Absolutely.
He used to say that all the time, so that kind of stuck a little bit with me. A student success story under your leadership.
A student success story. His name is Andrew. And I believe that under my leadership, a good number of students, hundreds, thousands of students have been positively impacted. But I'll never forget Andrew. I was the center director at the Joliet Center many years ago. And Andrew was a fairly new student. He was from some part of Chicagoland. Andrew came in with this attitude that he was the boss and he was the new person, a new kid on campus, and he was going to be his way or the highway. Well, on my campus, I was the boss. And so there couldn't be two bosses there. And I watched Andrew. I felt like my skill set was very good at reading kids and observing and seeing what's going on. And I noticed Andrew, was someone that needed some special attention. And so I think I called Andrew's counselor and I asked some questions about him and got to know him before I called Andrew into my office. And what I learned about him is that his housing situation was difficult and that he needed to be in the program.
Okay.
And so I called him to my office and I threatened him that he was going to go get his stuff and get off of my campus immediately. And that shook him to the core.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say, we never had another issue out of Andrew. Today, Andrew's doing quite well. He's an older gentleman now and has to be in his mid-30s, mid to late 30s or something along those lines. But he had, last time I spoke with him, he had his own business. He was doing some things in clothing and he had this entrepreneurial spirit. He had a family and he was contributing in a positive way to society. Beautiful. And I think those are the kinds of things, not only that center directors do, but staff across the country do when it comes to working with young people. And
Absolutely.
So the good people figure it out. They just don't get rid of the kid. They find a way. If there's any way within the boundaries to work with young people, you can rely on Job Corps staff to do the most compelling job.
Some of the most committed people. That
absolutely.
Is on a Job Corps center. What legacy do you want distinction to leave in this system?
Legacy. Oh, man, am I too young to be thinking about legacy?
No, you're starting now.
I think I want to be known, particularly in the contracting space, as executing well. Execution matters.
Absolutely.
And what's important, and I know we're talking from the perspective of a small business, Lorraine.
Right.
But whether you're large or small, the legacy I want to leave is that we didn't have to be large to execute.
Yes.
Disciplined execution. We were accountable. We set high expectations. We reached goals, right?
Right.
We did it with contract integrity. We did it with the right ethics. We treated our people well, and we did a good darn job. So I think that's what's important to me.
That is very important, and that speaks to the level of commitment required to operate in that vein, to be in that space, and to demonstrate that to the people in which you supervise, or more importantly, those that supervise you under the illusion that you're supervising.
Yeah, I have a lot of bosses.
Yes.
And you wanted me to give some advice to someone who want to enter this space? Entrepreneurship does not mean you're your own boss. It just means you have more bosses now than anybody else with all kinds of stakeholders who are now managing you. Absolutely.
I think that's a very good point to make to anybody going into federal contracting as a small business. We talked about the legacy that you want to leave. In order to leave that legacy, you have to reflect on the lessons that you learned.
Oh, I have a lot of those.
Oh, I bet. Hardest one that you learned.
The hardest lesson, I think of myself as a whole person. I don't even think necessarily this is connected to distinction per se. I'll give you one that and I'll share this podcast with my friend, and he's going to know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
I was in school at Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
I had come from Jackson State and spent my time there, historically Black college and university, where I was a part of the dominant culture.
Okay.
I went to Syracuse where I wasn't a part, and culturally, I was a young man, hadn't had a whole lot of exposure outside of Mississippi, but it was uniquely different for me.
I understand.
And so I stayed there for a little while, but I packed up my car and I was at the gas station and I said, I am leaving. I had gone to talk to the dean or assistant dean. I am done with this. And I went to the gas station. Long story short, I saw one of my fraternity brothers, and he and I connected. I told him I was leaving. He said, oh, man, don't leave. Let's hang out. We hung out. I had a great time. I needed that social connection. We had a great time, and I stayed. And I finished, and I got my master's from Syracuse. As I was walking across the stage to receive my degree, just this flood of emotion came roaring up, reminding me that I had almost quit. And had it not been for my friend, I would have quit. My mind was already made up. I was in motion.
You were done.
I was done. And so a lesson for me from that experience was to never give up. And that experience has served me well, even in distinction. We've taken our lessons learned, but one thing I can say about distinction as a small business and the very talented people that support me in this company is that we are resilient, and that we're not quitters. We're not going to quit. We are going to give it everything that we have, and I think those who hopefully evaluate us will see that we are a group of people who are committed to the mission, because for us it's something deeper, and that deeper thing is purpose.
You said, I want to take what you just said to me. You're at the gas station. Your mind is made up.
Oh, yeah.
You're done. I'm comparing that to the number of times you've sat at a table, or I've sat at a table, and the student, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I've packed my bags.
Yeah.
And the one thing I think your friend did, and I said this in another interview earlier, was that you were seen.
Yeah.
You were seen at that moment for what you needed. And you said, I needed that socialization.
Yes.
And I think that many times our students in the workforce arena come to us unseen.
Oh, absolutely.
For their potential.
Sure.
And so as you continue to operate your businesses, knowing that part of our role as workforce development champions is to make sure we take the time to see the unseen.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
there's nothing more powerful, in my humble estimation, than the power of belief.
Right.
And I started out our segment or our podcast with distinction started in my mind before it started anywhere else. And so for those who may be watching this podcast and thinking about how do I come in as a small business, or what's the impact of small business, I cannot emphasize enough how powerful belief is that a company or individual may have in what their own capabilities are. When you know you have the capability to do something,
right?
Who can stop you? What can stop you?
Absolutely.
And when you know that your skills, your ideas, your innovations, your work ethic, your ability to provide solutions to problems that exist, right? When you know that that is real, tangible,
you're unstoppable.
Large or small.
That's right.
Large or small.
All right. You're saying this. One word that describes the difference between CEO and CD.
I think you asked me something similar a moment ago.
Yeah. But I just want one word.
One word.
Yeah.
Risk. Risk. See, being a CEO is all
the
about
risk.
about managing the risk.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And that's acceptable. We're going to move into your rapid fire questions.
Let me sit up here. Let me sit up. My mother may be watching. I'm slouching in the seat.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm sitting up now.
Coffee with the leader, past or present?
I won't give you my spiritual leader, but I will say Martin Luther King Jr.
He's been chosen twice today.
Martin Luther, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. Leadership, a book on leadership that you advise anyone to read.
I don't know about leadership. This is interesting. I think you're aware that I'm back in school. I'm working on my doctorate.
Yes.
In theology. And all the books I'm reading these days are about theology,
right.
amongst many
Servant
and similar
leadership.
topics. And that's what I would say. It's something to do with service and stewardship. You asked me about the legacy question a moment ago.
Right.
This is speed round, but it's about stewardship.
No, go ahead. This is our time to talk.
It's about stewardship. It's about, in my case, stewarding public resources that I'm responsible for in order to get a measured or desired outcome. Right. So being a good steward of federal dollars or taxpayer dollars, stewardship. Any book in leadership on stewardship. If I had to pick another topic, that's a close second.
Go ahead.
It's about being courageous.
Yes.
You cannot be in this role and not be courageous. I'll give you one more and I'll be quiet.
I'm enjoying it.
Stewardship, courage, and faithfulness.
Faithful in what manner?
That you have to have belief that what you're aspiring for can be accomplished. A friend of mine who's a federal contractor who's doing very well in another federal agency has grown his company to unimaginable size. He says to me, Korey, the higher you go, the more the intangible things, the spiritual things are going to be needed for you and your company. And I promise you, I'm experiencing that because you have to be discerning. You have to have sound decision-making skills. You have to be ethical, regardless of where staff or students are from and how you treat them and or what you may know about them. You have to manage finances properly. You have to pay people properly. You have to follow all the rules. So I can go on and on.
The list is long.
And that's what we pride ourselves on.
And I think it is evident in definitely speaking with you today. All right, so now we're going to move into music. We're going to move into music. Boys to Men or... I'm going to put an age group on this. Boys to Men or Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Boys to Men, of course.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire predates me. So it's clearly Boys to Men. That's an easy one. Boys to Men.
Well, you heard it first. Korey, this has been a wonderful conversation. Is there anything you want my listeners to know more about who you are?
Sure.
And your impact on youth development and the workforce platform?
Yeah, the great question. I appreciate you asking me that kind of as a final response question. I think in the context of operating as a small business in the Job Corps space, what I would want anyone watching this podcast to know is that small businesses matter.
Absolutely.
And small businesses make a significant difference. What we pour into our staff, to our students, because of our size. Larger companies, maybe a sole contract or single contract doesn't make that much of a difference for them. But for us, it makes all the difference. We're not looking for any special advantage. We're just looking for equal access, equal opportunity. And I think our work shows that we are just as competent, if not more skilled, than those that we partner and participate with in the landscape that we operate in.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed
Thank you, Lorraine.
And to my listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this series on I Build America podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the I Build America podcast. Please subscribe, share, and comment, and be sure to join us next time for more insights and inspiring conversations on building a powerful American workforce. I Build America, building workforce success one podcast at a time.
I build America.